I'm Gary Duncanson. I've been a longtime supporter of the OMG. My company's been around for 20 years, and OMG is just a great organization. No magic, we are a modeling simulation and analysis company. I'd like to say we are the most standards compliant product line in the industry because we strictly adhere to standards like mad little clockmakers. If you don't have industry standards, it's like a plug. You go all over the world, there's several international standards for plugs. Imagine if everybody had the same type of plug that you could plug into. Wouldn't that make things a lot easier, a lot more interoperable? That's the same thing that standards do here. Like Richard always talks about TCP/IP being the backbone of the internet. Yeah, you can't have those global international things that work well together unless you have standards. The OMG has a really good process because they're also linked to other standards organizations. So when something becomes an OMG standard, it's real easy to become an ISO standard then. They've got a really streamlined process so that all these standards bodies seems like they're really converging, and it seems like the object management group is becoming the hub of that emergence of pushing out the new standards.
If somebody comes to you and says, what's OMG and why did you get involved? What's your answer?
That's easy. Well, we knew that standards were going to be the way to go, and when we've been around for 20 years. I think it was 1997 is when we started participating at the OMG. We've been a platinum sponsor here for last 6 years. And what we saw as the future, especially for modeling in the software industry, was that you were going to have those standards if you're going to, first of all, make your brand and your brand well known out there, as well as know what's happening in the industry. The question is, do you want to be a leader in the industry or do you want to be a follower? Well, what happens here at the OMG is that you can actually become, even no matter if you're a small company, you can become well known internationally, and you can push your name out and your brand out and become very well known. We have customers now in 89 countries. In pretty much all industries, and the OMG has really been a key factor at promoting that. So if anybody is looking to, first of all, get involved and know what's going on in their industry, come to the OMG, join it. You can look through the OMG's website, you can look at and get information there to how to become a member, but until you actually come and participate and see those thought leaders and see how the industry can evolve and how much influence you can have to make things better for everyone. I mean, we interoperate with even our competitors, and how do we do that? One of the things that has facilitated that is the OMG making things interoperability. And those working groups and things like that, and it brings companies together, which brings the industry together.
You believed in OMG so much that you put your money where your mouth is.
We've been a platinum sponsor for 6 years. There's been a couple of years there where we were the only platinum sponsor. So, but that money has the ROI on that money has come back, 100-fold on that. It's great how much recognition you can get and how well respected you can be also. And we help promote the other working groups and stuff and work with our software with the working groups too to make sure that those groups have the availability of having something to produce the standards in.
So the reasons you first got involved as an OMG sponsor, talk about why they're more relevant today than ever.
Well, there was this new thing called Java that was starting to come out back then, as well as this new thing called UML that really consolidated, because there was several different competing standards for modeling together. And the OMG basically took, once that uniform standard got made, they basically had everybody come together, and then everybody in the industry started making models that were within the same type of modeling. And now we have things for system engineering. This is called SysML. We have things for the government. We have UPDM for military and Ministry of Defense and Department of Defense architecture frameworks. We've got business process modeling. So all these standards can actually work together and come together, and the object management group is the reason that those have come out.
If you were speaking to some potential sponsors of OMG, what are some of the perks? What are some of the benefits?
I would tell them that they need to get and participate and really decide to jump in with 2 feet. Because if you jump in and commit and be here at every meeting and to do all the extra work, because there's a lot of work to be done and on the side that people don't see for this 1 week a quarter. But I'll tell you what, their products that they put out will be much better, and they will be able to actually get their name brand out there and let people know who they are.
If I'm considering getting involved, how do I get involved if I want to?
Well, first of all, like I said, first thing is go to the website. You can learn all about what's available there, but most importantly, come and actually experience one of the quarterly meetings. And it's always a fun time. There's a lot of good social time. You can meet with industry and thought leaders. The results are by far be able to put out a lot better product and be able to make it more interoperable, which of course has made more people buy our products. It makes more people know who we are, try us out, and use it. I mean, every product is going to stand on its own 2 feet. But if you want that opportunity to, if you think your product's good enough, push it out there. If you want to make it better, come and participate at the OMG. Make it interoperable.
And the last thing is, what was the slug? You said you're the most compliant. What was it?
Yes, thanks to the OMG and thanks to those standards, and then creating products that actually really adhere to those standards, it has really helped us become the most interoperable, the most standards compliant in our industry of following the standards. Are we perfect? No, but I tell you what, the object management group really gets you as close to perfect as you can if you can follow those standards. The OMG is a great organization. It's got great leadership. It's been a very stable and growing organization, and being on the board, you get to see the ins and the outs, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I tell you what, this group is a stellar group, and you get to interact with industry leaders that in other avenues you really don't have that same kind of avenue to interact with those.